Absolute Radio.
Sir Frank Skinner soon. It's not going to be long, is it? Sir Frank. Would you, if you got knighted, would you be called Sir Franklin Skinner, or just keep it as Frank?
Sir Frankincense. I don't think that's going to happen, so let's not worry about it.
Worried about jinxing it.
He's worried.
Yeah, don't jinx the knighthood.
I just don't want David Baddiel wearing that leather Aztec camera jacket to the palace, that's all.
Yeah. You're assuming he'll get one as well. Yes, it's... England are playing in the World Cup quarter-final today, and also it's Pride in London. So we've walked Golden Square, where we broadcast from. If we look down at the window, it's become a big rainbow flag. So Pride and the World Cup quarter-final, something for everybody. Lovely.
Well,
it shows, doesn't it, that Pride comes in many, many forms. What a marvellous, diverse country we live in. Hurrah.
yeah.
Yes.
No, it's all very, very exciting, though, I must say. It's been a very strange week. I had a journalist come to my house. That hasn't happened since the 90s.
Really?
Journalists came to my house asking me for a comment about the World Cup.
Were they invited? They didn't just knock on the door?
No, they just knocked on the door.
No.
A comment about the World Cup.
What did you say?
I said I thought the figure bearing the globe is a bit ill-defined. And those two green bands, are they 2 or 3 green bands around the bottom of the World Cup? Makes it look like when you open a bag of pasta and then you put elastic bands around to keep it fresh. He didn't seem... no, I didn't give a... I don't want people turning up at my house.
No.
I mean, even people I know.
Yeah.
Especially people you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how inconvenient is that?
You've had quite a week, though, Frank. I was Al, I was genuinely shocked when he took my call this week.
Yeah. Well, he's been very viral, hasn't he? He's been very viral,
but I feel much better now.
Been really viral all over the place.
It's been a meme fest.
I bet it has.
I spoke to Frank in the week and he went, have you seen the memes? There are so many memes.
It is, though. I didn't really. I had a vague sense of what a meme was, but I've seen so many It's Coming Home memes this week that now I feel well versed. And may I compliment you all on your marvellous invention. And then I saw there's all these things, like there's a meme about Friends when a monkey puts the music on and it happens to be 3 lines and they all dance to it. And then there's there's one Fools and Horses when Del Boy puts it on and it's that music.
Shawshank Redemption. Frank,
yes,
is that one?
Yeah,
but then there's Eric Cantona singing Football's Coming Home, and I thought that's a clever one. And then I realised it's Eric Cantona singing Football's Coming Home. What?
Well, I had a weird moment where my two worlds collided, where I saw a jiu-jitsu champion who's lived in England for about 10 years singing Football's Coming Home.
That is
very strange. He's Brazilian, but
and I saw Bobby Charlton singing Jiu-Jitsu's Coming Home. What a coincidence. He's not well, Bob.
The best of Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
I don't like to take up the sort of grumpy old man role from you. That seems to be your seat.
Well, I don't know. I think you I see you as a brother in arms.
Where is these memes are shared on the social media? Is that where
they're on the internet? That's where you find them.
They're on the internet.
Is this an Alan Bennett play?
I didn't like the memes.
No.
I didn't much care for the memes.
And then there was a tremendous amount of meme.
Alan Bennett impressions from the team.
I think it's, you know what they say, 30 years of hurt never stopped me memeing.
Very good.
And thus it has continued. It's
that's going to be in their tabloids now.
Yeah, it's such, I doubt it. It's such a, they're funny, they're actually properly funny, which is so rare nowadays. The funny.
Yeah.
Frank, a questione here.
Yes.
A lot of people, I would say probably half my timeline or my mentions has been filled up with people sending me gifs of yourself and David, or you as individuals, rolling in a bed of money
Oh, yeah.
The question often asked, how much are they coining in? So I put it to you, Frank Skinner, how much are you coining in?
You don't get anything from a meme.
Okay.
Imagine.
I'm just saying you're number one.
Imagine how... I don't think we are number one, isn't it?
Yeah, you are.
Isn't it called Derek? It's Derek Ezra, I think, the former chairman of the coal board.
Oh, yeah.
Number one.
He's number one.
Or is it George?
Frank, you were
I wish it
beating-
was Derek Ezra. Derek Ezra presented me with my master's certificate. I know, my BA certificate.
Oh, yeah.
Other people, you talk to people, they say, oh, yeah, we had Prince Charles giving out the things or stuff like that.
Oh,
Derek Ezra, head of the coal board. God bless him. And now he's kept me off number one. Can you believe it? No, he hasn't. I don't think we're anywhere near. We're like 24.
You were number one.
No. Anyway, look, I
think you are.
Come on.
You were beating Cardi B.
Who?
I'm just saying. I can't. Look, it's taken us 4 years for you to understand
Cardi
memes.
B?
I can't begin. Yeah,
Is
Cardi
that
B.
how Yoda says Bacardi? Cardi B?
Cardi B.
Yeah.
I'll explain to you.
Is that somebody that
Yeah, I keep all my cardigans in alphabetical
very
order.
thoroughly indexes their knitwear, yeah.
Yeah. Today I should be wearing Cardi B, I think. Yes. What about on the Friends one? It was just the three Friends men.
Yeah.
Schwimmer, Luke thingy. Is it Luke?
What's going
Yeah.
on here?
What's the name of the
Ross?
three men in Friends?
What the
Triviani.
character's name?
No. I
Okay, you
don't
want to
care
know the
about-
men.
LeBlanc?
David Schwimmer,
Too late,
Matthew
the moment's
Perry,
gone.
Matt LeBlanc.
Well, where was you when we needed you?
I got LeBlanc.
Because we used to call him Matt the White on here. do you
Oh, yeah,
remember?
we did.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah, anyway, it's them
Fun
dancing.
times.
I
Yeah.
thought I don't. If I'd have seen Jennifer Aniston dancing to so many jokes, so many sneers, but all those I would think I would have wept. It'd be so post Brad. She should have covered it.
Good point.
Oh, it would have been great. 3 lines on your eyes, and then he's off. It could have been called.
Frank, even
Who's he with now? Is he still with
Who?
Jolie?
No.
Who's
No,
he?
but he's
they've had,
got I think 8
Should
children.
be with Derek Ezra, former head of the coal board.
Yeah.
He's got 8 children now.
Brad Pitt. you see.
I know, we get it now.
Okay. He's got 8 children.
Yeah, and he likes a beer.
Who's he
Great
with?
catch.
Mia Farrow? 8 children he's got. Still, if you can afford it. Oh, marvellous. I haven't really had to think about Brad Pitt for a long time.
No.
Is he in decline?
When you say decline, what do you mean? Do you mean
Is he
physically?
still working?
Yes, he's still working.
He's still working, but I think they've had
What's he
some
been
fairly
recently?
public relationship problems. Is
Oh,
that?
no, I know
That's
about
better.
that.
Yeah, we know
God,
about that.
I haven't seen him in anything
Frank's
for
just
ages.
Has he lost his sheen?
Oh.
Yes. Is Brad Pitt on the downward slope?
Yeah.
I got an idea. I saw him in Publicum a couple of weeks,
Oh,
making
yeah.
a guest appearance. You know
The
that?
Welsh soap opera.
Yeah, I've cleaned up the title a bit.
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
So we play Sweden at 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 o'clock seems so wrong now for football. Football's never at 3 o'clock. It feels like it's always at 3 o'clock in the good old days.
Back in the day.
How do you feel about it, Frank?
Well, I tell you what, I'm sort of slightly falling in love now with Gareth Southgate. That penalty shootout the other night, because obviously he ruined my perfect summer.
Many
Gareth.
moons ago.
Yeah. And now, who would have
There's
ever
a few
thought?
women as well.
Yeah. But it's like the wounded surgeon.
Yeah.
Now he comes back to make everything right. It's so perfect. I mean, as a bit of theatre,
Yeah.
it's absolutely perfect. So I love that part of it. I think whatever happens, he has become a bit of a star.
National treasure.
Yeah.
At least national treasure status. I should
Brilliant.
think.
obviously I'm hoping it goes to a penalty shootout.
No.
Oh, Frank,
God,
you're
it was
not.
so good. If you'd have seen me and Dave, two old men, me and David Baddiel, it was a couple of his son, who's a teenager, had got his teenage mate there, and they were sitting and watched. They were pleased, but they were, just that's good. Mm-hmm. Me and Dave were like a couple of old nutters in the park. I mean, literally dancing round and round with our knees.
Yeah. Lovely picture of the two of you that went viral. Lovely.
That was, I tell you what. I mean, I thought.
Tell you what.
Well, I tell you what. I knew the Birmingham Mail would cover it. No,
Yeah.
I am the Birmingham Mail.
But not the broadsheets. Were you surprised by the broadsheets taking?
Telegraph.
What's it in there? I don't know.
Everyone had it.
Oh,
And what I liked, there was the news story. It was a kind of like this news just in. Frank Skinner and David Baddiel. Watch the. But Frank, we've had one of our tweeters got in touch, Dave1971.
yes.
Can Frank the Soothsayer find time to talk about the lottery numbers too? And he's quoting you from this show on the 16th of June.
Right.
I tell you what I'm imagining is going to happen in the World Cup.
Okay.
England will have a penalty shootout, and because everyone will think, here we go again, but because we've brought the great sort of juju magic of a bloke who missed a major penalty, because it's his team, the great god of penalty shootouts will think, you know what? I owe this bloke one, and that will turn it all around. The Frank Skinner Show, 16th of June 2018. Thank you.
Well,
The
that's
timestamp on the.
yeah. Well, I'm not going to predict anything today, but I mean, this.
I'll go on.
But of course, they invented pornography, the Swedes.
Did they?
Yeah, I think they've wasted quite enough of my time. So let's get them out the way and get on with it. There's such a bleak. I don't know if you know much about the Swedish team. There's such a, Scandi noir. This thing that people. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's all these grim-faced figures standing in a bleak wasteland.
Right.
So it's going to be a really grinding. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't believe they were the country that also brought us dime bars.
You love dime bars.
Yeah, but so much joy from all that dour. It's like finding that North Korea invented dealy boppers. Do you think they did?
No.
That's probably how they're getting their Wi-Fi.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Did you see the press conference at Chequers yesterday?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
It had this feeling of a sort of Disney movie press conference. Do you know what I mean? If you had the sort of world leaders in a Disney movie, it felt slightly unreal.
I have to say, I've always felt that Donald Trump is an intrinsically comic figure, and we've made sport of him on this show, but I don't really want him in our garden, if you know what I mean. I'm sort of easier with him when he's somewhere else, but I got a bit. There used to be a thing that people used to shout at us when we was kids in the West Midlands. You get off down your own end.
Oh yeah.
If you was kicking a ball about, and I sort of felt that a bit. But I felt, I'll be straight, Theresa May having to be nice to him because we'll be having to trade, we're a bit short of money, so we've got to be nice to him.
I know.
Oh, that was painful.
I know.
I tell you what it reminded me of, film-wise, and
Go on.
it's not a Disney franchise at the time, but it is now. Do you remember when Jabba the Hutt took Princess Leia as prisoner in that metal bikini with a chain round her neck? It was a bit like that.
That is a great analogy.
Really,
That is what it was.
Oh,
It is.
I so felt for her because she's got to be.
I know.
Just got to be. Yeah, that was funny.
What about when he said,
I'd rather let the people starve if I was Prime Minister. But that's probably
yes,
why
I
I'm
think
not
you
Prime
probably
Minister.
would.
We're not all cut out for it, are we?
What if we had? Can we have a phone? We can't have phone votes, can we? On here, if you had a phone vote, would you rather have England?
Twitter poll we can
England
do.
win the World Cup or Theresa May have turned round mid-press conference and just said, "Oh, I hate you."
We can do that as a Twitter poll. Let's do it.
What would people rather have?
Okay, let's see.
I would have, you know what? Whatever had happened to her, she could have stayed at our house. I'd have put her up rent-free.
Ambassador, you're spoiling her.
I just think, wow, if someone said, I know all about the economic implications and all that, but sometimes you just got to tell people when you hate them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He said at one point, I would give our relationship, in terms of grade, the highest level of special.
Mm-hmm. And then I think he went even higher in true Trump fashion.
The next time...
Even higher than that.
The next time I'm in a restaurant and the waiter comes over and reads the specials, I'm going to say, what would you say was the highest level of special of those? See if they pick it up.
211 has texted, haven't we already played the ultimate British joke on Trump by making him land at Stansted?
Yeah.
Great point. He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking earlier about things that people narrowly missed out on.
Yes.
Like the red arrows, for example.
Or rationing was one of mine.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
You missed out on
You're not
that.
one of the powdered egg children.
No, rationing actually went on after the war, didn't
Carried
it?
on for a while.
Yeah.
You still got powdered egg.
I've never had powdered egg, I must say.
No.
Okay.
Can you still get it?
I'll try it live
if
on
you can
air.
get it, let's have it next week, powdered egg.
Oh, lovely start to the day.
I'll see
Always
if I
got
can.
one eye on the show budget, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'll see if I can develop trench foot, and I'll tell you what that's like.
Frank, I tell you what I still haven't tried yet. My battered saveloy.
Oh,
You didn't get one?
I'm really
You
sorry, but
promised.
the World Cup took over my life. You won't know what that's like,
I think you'll
Frank.
find the World Cup didn't stop a lot of people from having a battered saveloy. The two go happily hand in hand.
Good point. Good point. Well made.
Anyway, I'm going to try one of those.
God, I had an email last night. I don't know if I'm
Big
supposed,
wow.
I don't know if I'm supposed to announce.
1982.
Yeah.
Maybe it's supposed to be secret. I don't
What, that
know.
you had
Come
an
on,
email?
tell us.
It
Oh,
was-
you've got to tell us.
Oh, hang on. You've not got some money that you just have to email somebody in another
is it?
country, have you? Is it that?
It's that.
Is it a Crown Prince?
Have I mentioned to you guys that I was involved in a road accident? 'Cause I don't remember it, but it turns out
Right.
I'm
Doing all right.
entitled. No,
Go
I
on.
had an email. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but when has
Okay.
that bothered anyone on this show?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll read it to you.
Go on. Oh, my God.
Oh, I mean, it was getting number one was amazing, but then I got this, and I thought, well,
Heavens to Betsy.
Here we go.
hi Frank, Domino Pizza would like to offer you free pizza, drink, and sides for a year.
Shut up.
Come on! Come on!
Oh,
Well,
are you having it?
Are you interested? Yes or no? I mean, I've never been so quick on the phone.
It's
Are you interested?
Am I interested? And sides?
Sides is the one.
It's not going to match with your regime, though, is it?
No, but I can work around it. I can get
Yeah.
fat for a year.
Yeah, but Frank,
Oh.
are they going to have your picture up in the shops now?
No, it says no
No PR.
obligations. Just free pizza.
You don't even have to read it out on the
What's in
radio
it for
tomorrow.
them? What's in it
That's
for
a
them?
thought, actually. No, but I did. I wanted to tell you about it. It's amazing.
Maybe
Awesome.
they'll do, like by royal appointment,
Yeah.
for you and David, start getting
I
little
don't-
three lions.
I don't think David. I don't know if David's got.
You got pizza land.
He's not going to have to
So-
come round to yours for a slice of yours. That
Yeah.
would be depressing.
I'll get him a side.
Give him a side,
What
you're
is a
right.
side? What do
Give
you
him a
have
side.
as a side?
Oh, I
Lettuce?
know.
Like
Chunky
salads,
wedges.
potato skins, that sort of stuff.
That's
Yeah.
a Savoy.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's
Then
a
you could
side.
wrap it in the pizza. That'd be
Ooh.
amazing.
Look,
What a
David
life.
might have got the Domino's call.
Well, that's how it works, isn't it? When one domino goes over,
Oh yeah.
they all do.
And then, then the next.
yeah.
That's just gone right up our road.
They've all got it.
Oh, anyway, it was an exciting moment in my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'll be even more exciting if David hasn't got it.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Frank, I've been dying to ask you this morning. Look, are you still number one?
Well, have I got news for you? Write that down.
Have I got extra
Not a
news for
bad
you?
title.
What have you?
Here we
What?
go.
Congratulations and jubilations.
You may remember that in going to number one for the fourth time with the same lineup, we broke a record last week.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, how often do you break a record in life? A proper official record that's in, like, the Guinness Book of Hit Singles
Yeah.
type thing? Never is the answer you're after, mate. Anyway, but this week...
Extraordinary.
Congratulations and jubilations.
We have broken the record. Me, David Baddiel, and the Lightning Seeds have broken the record for the biggest ever drop from number one. Well, honestly, I'm not making this up. We have dropped and what about this for a coincidence? We have dropped a record-breaking 96 places.
96.
Wow.
Come on.
I know, 96. So in 1 week, we've gone from 1 to 97. I mean, that's big time.
Are you just as pleased by
big time.
breaking this record as the previous
You
one?
know what? I think I am. When I heard about it, I just thought that is because we knocked George Ezra off number one, and he went down to number 2. Whereas I mean, it's absolutely, it's like being Steve Brookstein. And if you remember him early,
I do remember Steve.
early X Factor winner.
Yeah.
It is like that, though. It's like when you're a mega 1 week, and the next week you are nothing. We're in the top 100. Let's not knock it.
96 places.
96 places.
Come on.
That is, people just didn't say, I don't like it as much as they hate. They went
Yeah.
from loving it to
Yeah.
despite. Well, I don't know about that, but it just stopped. Sales stopped. It's almost as if it was tied to the performance of the England football team in some way.
Yeah, in a way, they owe you.
Oh, so
Do you ever
yeah,
meet any of those at an event?
It's like the perfect ending to the whole adventure.
Yes.
I think the whole memes
I-
thing and all that. And then we end with a fabulous record-breaking swoop into the depths.
Treat those two imposters just the same. Frank.
Truly, we Icarus-like did fly too close to the sun.
What about impressions that
Oh, yes.
most people can currently do? Okay, you
Okay.
did a bit of a shout out. Peter Vernon has been in touch.
I was going to say, I can't do him.
Not at all.
Wow.
Do you want to hear his
Yeah.
suggestions? Len Goodman, 7.
Oh, yes,
Seven?
that's that one
Yeah, that's
number.
good.
Yeah.
Seven.
That's good.
And
I
then,
interviewed Len Goodman, and I said I thought he was the only person I could think of whose catchphrase was a number.
Yeah.
I can't think
Well,
of
I
any.
would say it's quite an achievement. He's responsible for transforming the identity of the word 7.
Yes.
Because very few people say that without saying...
Oh, yeah. 7! Yeah,
I would say
he's-
him and number Johnny 5 from the robot thing. Remember the robot film? Short Circuit.
Oh, yeah. Well, so what
When he
did
said
he show?
number Johnny 5.
Yeah, but he had
It's
words
not
in
7.
it as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Len-
Well, the word was number. It's
Len
hardly...
was a purist.
And he also cites...
I mean, he would have killed that Brad Pitt film if it had been popular before that. Go on, carry on.
Who else have we
He
got?
also cites Bianca from EastEnders saying...
Ricky!
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
So
but is
maybe-
that modern?
No.
Well, maybe we're only capable of the one-word impression
I know,
now.
but
Maybe.
Ricky, that's got to be 30 years ago.
Yeah. I don't even think people
Peter
get that
Vernon might
now.
be
Even
85 and still alive.
Even Len Goodman isn't still on, strictly.
Peter, are you
point.
85 and still alive?
I don't think he will be.
I'm going to go 55. Okay.
I'm going to say he's 51.
How old do you think Peter Vernon is?
What about if we had a text in based on how old Peter Vernon is? Oh,
Let's do it.
man, that would be. We'd finally. Our scorched earth policy has finally reached its zenith.
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
So let me tell you something. A few weeks ago, I got a call from my manager to say that Room 101 had been dropped by the BBC. Right,
that's it.
it happens. So I was interviewed by the Times about a few days later, and the bloke said, "So you're doing pretty well. You got this, you got that. Room 101 it goes on, doesn't it?" I said, "Room 101 is dead." So
Why'd you have to say it like that?
I don't know. Why did I have to say it at all? Was what the publicist asked me afterwards.
It's so Jacob Marley.
It is a bit, I know, and the publicist, Lucy, is very professional, was sitting
and currently on medication, as you would
sitting in
imagine.
on the interview, did look anxious. But anyway, so it was said, and then I recorded Loose Ends.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that? The popular Radio 4 show with Clive Anderson.
I do. Clashes with this, doesn't it?
Yeah,
a bit later
doesn't
today.
No, it's on at
is it on
6:15, I think.
Oh, right.
I call it
Doing
Ends Not Women.
Ends Not Women.
Why?
Oh, I see, because Loose Women is a different
There you go.
programme.
It's the other
I
Loose.
see. I
Go
see.
on, Frank.
Got it.
So I was on there
Yeah.
talking about a play that I've got on in Edinburgh.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, so Room 101 has been dropped. And I said, yeah, that's right, it's gone there. I got the phone call and blah. And I thought, I'm on a show here. This is a whole new genre. People go on and plug their new projects. I go on and mourn the passing. Is this going to be what people do now? Oh, so you've had a couple of shows cut just lately. Yeah, I thought I'd come on and publicise that. So I've actually been doing press for Room 101 being pulled. I can imagine bumping into celebrities now in the wings before chat shows saying, you plugging or mourning?
Yeah.
So,
Can
yeah, it was
can
a
I
weird...
just say, talking of your plugging tour,
Yeah.
can we discuss your appearance on the One Show?
I'd say I haven't had a plug-in tour for a long time. I was on the One Show. So, I've been
you
doing
weren't
the
just on
rounds.
it.
Were you doing that about
He
Room
wasn't
101s?
just on it.
No, we didn't.
Oh, you never did
Ow.
that.
We didn't got round
Was it
to...
very future focused?
He
yeah, my anti-publicist was furious that I hadn't mentioned the Room 101 thing.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So,
Theresa May.
one of the things
Cookbooks.
about Theresa May... with
cooking the books? How dare you?
She's got 150 cookbooks, and you know my view on the numerical lie, which people always do. I said to you earlier, I
Should
saw
we remind people, Frank, what that is?
the numerical lie is saying, yeah, I absolutely love Annie, the movie. I've seen it like 25 times. You've seen it 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all do it. I catch when I said I've done the One Show probably 20 times. Have I done it 20 times? I might have done it 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you round, you always round up.
We'll check on IMDb so
just-
that it's a factual show.
I think it's because you think it makes, the idea, the excess makes you seem more interesting.
Maybe, yes. So
Well, Theresa May
150.
need to seem more interesting. That's
And also,
absurd.
having a more cookbooks wouldn't make me think anyone was interested.
Why did you say cookbooks?
That's her thing. She also did a
just
thing
like
that
Churchill.
politicians do. You know when they're on like question time and they think they're going to get a round of applause and they lean back as if here it comes and then it doesn't and they look terrified for a split second. She did a version of that waiting for a laugh where she said, I like to cook and that has the added benefit of you get to eat it. And she was expecting a little chuckle.
Yeah, she had
Nothing.
material out.
Yeah,
She-
what about the national obesity crisis layoff the Prime Minister?
You get
But
to
the
eat it as well as make it.
150 cookbooks,
Yeah.
she can't have... How many do you think she's got?
Well, I'm going to work
28.
this out. Hang on. I work out how many books are on a shelf.
Oh.
Well, that
Depends on the shelf.
It depends on
I'd
the
say
like
you're
the
not going to
string
get more than
question, isn't
20. So what I would say is no one's got 7 shelves worth of cookbooks.
She'll have all the Jamies.
Oh, yeah.
What about when
I think she's going to have... She's more of a Delia fan.
Do you know when I interviewed
Otto
her?
Lengi.
Oh,
I reckon
God.
she's got Otto Lengi.
No, I think she always walked like that.
Such a Frank Skinner piece of gold. It's a golden nugget.
I interviewed Jamie Oliver, and as part of the interview, I cooked a cake from his book, and it's the only time I've ever followed a recipe in my life.
Darling, just so you know, people don't normally say cook a cake.
Don't
No.
they?
No, you
True.
say bake.
Okay, I baked a cake.
Cook a
And so I baked a cake,
Picky,
and I I followed the instructions exactly, and something very strange happened to the cake. And it's like the butter that I put in refused to take part in the experiment. And it rose to the top of the cake and formed a sort of a crust. I mean, a squidgy... It's sort of yellowy crust it formed on the top. And when I got it out and showed it to Jamie on air, I honestly thought he might cry.
Oh.
And it was like his entire career was being challenged. And he's saying, no, you can't have. What did you do when you started asking me technical questions?
Oh, no.
And I said, honestly, I followed it to the letter. He was saying, no, you can't have it. And it was like quite a big thing for him.
Frank Skinner in the Rogue Butter. That'll be one of his autobiography chapters.
I've got two of his cookbooks. Me and Kath wouldn't look at a cookbook. They're in a cupboard that is never opened.
We've got quite a few.
We've got about 10.
I reckon we've got 20 maybe.
See that we've probably got 15, but I'm talking to Dad. Can't people just tell the truth? I got Mrs. Beaton's cookbook.
Oh yeah,
she signed it for me because she's quite a popular figure on the S&M circuit.
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
So. I have a 6-year-old child. In case you don't know, I'll just give you 2 facts about me. I'm from the West. No, I'll give you 3. I'm from the West Midlands, and I support a football team called West Bromwich Albion. In case you don't know. Also, I have a 6-year-old son.
Yeah.
Now these two worlds clash and collide when he told me a few weeks ago that he supports Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh.
He doesn't.
Yeah. Now it's a tricky thing because I do think you should support, a sort of a local team.
It's that England team that's done it. I knew that was going to happen.
That's what it is, you see, because after the World Cup, it's the closest thing to watching England. They play at Wembley, and they've got about 5 England players in the team. So what we've been doing is we've been watching on the telly some of the highlights of Spurs games. Thank God for the Champions League, where they're on a losing streak.
Yeah.
So I've been showing him them. So I'd show him, say, Spurs lose to Barcelona, and then West Brom walloping Bristol City, without mentioning any disparity between the two competitions.
There's going to be a terrible scene, isn't there? You lied to me.
Yes, but it's a bit like Anakin in Star Wars. I think he's pulled between the dark side. And it is so, because you don't want to indoctrinate. I've already got him at a Catholic school. I mean, I've got to back off eventually and let him be an individual human being.
Yeah.
But he did say to me, I'll tell you what, he said, what about if he said, I like West Bromwich. He said, but maybe, he said, Tottenham could be my Premiership team. I said, hold on.
There's a logic there, though.
No, but there's a long-term.
I know, but that's so insulting, isn't it?
You.
I mean,
wow. I mean, that hit me hard. And then.
I like that. A bit like I have Barnet FC as my second team.
I've never really had the second team thing.
Yeah.
You could have Huddersfield Town as your Premier League team if you want.
No, it's all
they're
right.
on a terrible...
That's a short-term solution.
Oh, see? It's all right when you do it.
He actually said to me, "Can I have one of those shirts with the black chicken on?" I said, "What is that?" Well, I thought he's into voodoo. He meant a Tottenham shirt.
All right.
I've never, ever heard it called the black chicken, and I have read about football for 50 years. But, if they brought out a song with, black chicken on my shirt, I mean, it's just never... He's completely come up with a new name for the Spurs.
Black chicken.
Yeah, the black chicken shirt.
I hope Harry Kane, if that's not his autobiography title.
Exactly. Bearing the Black Chicken by Harry Kane.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This referee's called David McNamara.
Oh, that referee.
Do you know him?
Right.
Do you know this referee?
I do now.
Well, I'll tell you how he's become famous.
He's become a ledge.
He's become a ledge because instead he rejected the traditional coin toss in favour of the rock, paper, scissors decider.
Yeah.
Didn't he? And the game was it Man City Reading for the ladies football.
Yeah.
Women's Super League. But he's got into a lot of trouble. Not a little bit, but a lot.
Well, he forgot his coin, didn't he? We should just say that he didn't do it on purpose. I think he forgot his coin and realised that it was a televised game and needed to.
It said he left his coin in the dressing room, to which I ask, you don't have another one? No one in that whole stadium has a coin? How badly off are these
That's
people?
a good point. Yeah.
You don't want to...
Just say lend us 10p.
Also, I don't
in
think
Scotland, they'd have been throwing them at him. So
I've
he
just
could
said
have
lend us
used one of them.
10p, and they don't even think 10p exists anymore, okay?
It was on telly, this match, so, they're very keen on getting everything happen at the right time.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think if it hadn't been, he would have delayed it and gone and got his coin.
Yeah.
But...
and rock, paper, scissors isn't that bad, is it?
I thought it was actually very inventive of him, which obviously is why the FA didn't like it.
Could have been a lot worse, couldn't it? If he'd gone with nicest eyes. If he'd
Man
just gone
City
with
had the nicest eyes.
That would have been...
which captain's got the nicest eyes?
That would have been a real...
Well, okay, you could
I think that's fair enough.
That would have been
I
terrible.
think if you decide on the body part beforehand and it's in a sealed envelope, obviously...
Yeah, but he'd have forgot that. Well, the head of the head of the Women's Referees Association said he should have been more prepared. He should have had a coin. He forgot. He forgot the coin. That's it. And what's the point in saying that?
Yeah.
She also said, get this, that it was a moment of madness. It made me think when I read
Very
that.
sheltered life.
Do you know Daniel Johnston, the singer-songwriter?
Yes.
His dad was flying him back from a gig in a small plane. They had an argument. Daniel Johnston switched the ignition off and threw the keys out the window. What would the female referee boss describe that as?
Really big moment of madness.
That's a very, very big
You've
moment.
been a very naughty boy.
Yeah. For those of you who are anxious, his dad, who was an experienced pilot, managed to crash land in trees, which is that's the secret of doing it. But even so, I think it was a really good idea.
Well, everything that I can think of that he could have done instead would have taken longer. Like keeping up his competition, that would have taken longer.
Tarot cards.
Tarot cards would have taken longer.
You have to set them up on the pitch, blow away.
Monopoly.
Then you get death, and it's a
long.
real buzzkill.
What about if he'd done a riddle?
3, 2, 1.
My first is in fish, but not in sea.
He could have brought on.
My second's in bird and not in tree. And they're going, hold on, let me just...
He'd been shouting, "Captains only, no conferring."
Yeah, exactly.
He could have brought on Dusty Bin.
They started to mob him over the riddle. What was it again about the bird? Get back, or just the captains.
Or he could have gone. I tell you what, he should have gone. He should have gone fortune teller fish.
Oh, that would have been good.
The trouble is, they often give an unclear result.
Well, the trouble, not
And he
only
might not
that,
have had
Frank,
one if he didn't
but-
have a coin.
Well, that's... who hasn't got a fortune teller fish in their back poche? The only trouble with the fortune teller fish is that some of the... I find it a bit strange, if I'm honest, because it says, I think it's motionless is dead one.
That means you're dead, yeah.
No, it says dead one. Why dead one? Why rub it in?
It means you're a dead one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it does fickle and envy. It's
Have
not
you?
going to work for the two halves.
Terrible. Has anyone finding a body put one of those fishes on a palm to see whether they're dead or not?
Instead of feeling for a pulse.
I mean, it seems wrong to go for what essentially is a party item.
The NHS have provided with them. That's terrible. No, I'm not a fan. I don't like the fortune teller fish. I mean, I'd never be without one.
Depending on how well the pitch was maintained, maybe a mud wrestle could have gone.
I think if he'd have suggested that, he'd have been suspended for more than 3
Even
days.
bigger trouble.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
notice, Frank, he's got to get the old wrestling.
Yeah, it's all
Gotta
about
get
the
the
grappling. It's
Yeah.
all about the
Gets in every word, doesn't it?
Look, if it had been a man's game, I'd have been all right with it. But I just think it's gone to a wrong place for breakfast radio.
Yeah.
And if
That's all.
if it's a woman's game, are they all right to be calling themselves Man City?
No.
Surely they should call themselves
there you
Woman
go.
City.
Wouldn't it be great if
Why
they
not?
had called themselves Woman City? I would really respect them.
Me too.
Yeah.
What about Huddersfield?
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can I tell you something before we go to the outside world?
Sure.
It's a music station where music matters.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was, consequently, as part of my presentorial research, I was watching I think they're called the MTV EMA Awards.
Oh.
Which is...
I love that you know that.
Yeah. I only knew it because it was like, they kept saying it.
Okay.
What do they stand for, EMA? Have we got that?
European Music Awards.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
right? Yeah, it's not as tricky as it might
Can
sound.
I just say...
What does MTV stand for? Music Television?
I think it does.
Yeah, well, when does television
Well
have two letters like that?
Good point.
Anyway,
Nice argument to have with yourself.
yeah. I used to watch, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I used to watch MTV in blocks of about 8 or 9 hours when it first
depressing.
came out. Oh, man, I used to so love
It is a
it.
bit, yeah,
How
you're right.
depressing.
Right, well, I
Man
live
with your
very...
lively mind.
I used to live very near to a KFC.
Stop
So it
boasting,
was-
stop boasting.
It was just perfect. Anyway, I haven't watched it for a while, and so the awards. You can imagine there's lots of people coming on who've got awards for you can't imagine what. Anyway, they were all very nice, and then it said after the break. It's me and Kath are watching it. Kath is my partner. We're both. Maybe a bit old, to be honest, for the EMA Awards. I mean, I don't think she's as old as Janet Jackson. Very hard to tell with Janet Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
She looked... her face had got a slight Casper the Friendly Ghost, a slightly transparent element to it. Anyway, it said after the break, Marshmallow will be on. So Kat said to me, wouldn't it be brilliant if a bloke came on and his head was just an enormous marshmallow? So we was laughing about it. So comes back and there he is, a bloke whose head's just an enormous marshmallow.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like the most...
Bit of light relief.
Oh, it was great.
Brilliant.
Because Kat had said it, and we'd laugh like when we first went out. We laughed about the ridiculousness if such a thing was to happen, and then there he was, big white. Well, he was white on the night. I don't know if he has a pink one.
Oh, he didn't go pink.
All right.
He might have a pink one for maybe it does like even the Britney used to do a costume change. Maybe
he's got
come on,
Pink
come on.
one for when he comes back off his holidays.
Yeah.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
We've received a text message from Lee on C. John Lewis Christmas advert.
Oh yes, the new John. This is a
new
big.
John
I think we
Lewis
talk
Christmas
about it
advert.
every year.
I think so. Yeah,
It's a real event, the John.
It really is.
Yeah.
What would have happened if his mum had got him some plasticine for Christmas rather than a piano? Maybe a sculptor. Please discuss.
But then again,
But
No.
then again, mould. Yes,
make up your mind before you sing the song.
in case you haven't seen the John Lewis Christmas advert.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's actually the life of Elton John.
Yeah.
That
It's a
age-old
biopic.
Christmas tale.
So it begins with him in a dressing gown in his house and playing the piano, and then it goes backwards, not the piano.
Told in flashback.
Life, yeah. Right back to the very first,
You go through.
when he gets his first piano.
Yeah. And in between that, you see him in his sort of 70s, 60s on the private plane.
All
Yeah.
that. I don't know, but how do you feel about this advert? Because people have said it's not Christmas enough, but he obviously does get a Christmas
I've
present.
got to be honest.
Just get a Christmas
I surprised myself. I felt a little tearful.
I felt
I was a bit
tearful.
moved. Oh, Frank, I'm so relieved. I thought you were all going to shout at me.
No,
I found it quite
loved
moving.
it.
So did I.
I thought it was really moving.
Weirdos.
I
I
got
cried. I had a little tear in my eye.
because at the
Oh,
end,
come on, guys.
at the end, you get there's a big pass, and he opens it, and he's got a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know. In the real world, the Elton John, the child, had probably said, "An upright? How dare you? Didn't I say I wanted a grand?" I mean, but in this, he's very sweet, and this is the moment, obviously, when he. And it just made me nostalgic for those days when people used to get famous for being able to do something.
Oh, right, yeah, I can see that.
If John Lewis had Kim Kardashian and we'd seen her as a child opening the present, it was buttock implants, I don't think I would have been so moved.
Or maybe one of the vloggers getting their first...
Zoella getting a big box and opening it and there's just tinsel and the parents say, see how you like it. But Elton John, I was teary at
I
the
was
end.
moved.
I wasn't teary Henri. Don't think that for a second.
No.
I haven't gone into management on the strength of it.
And there was something quite marvellous about having the originale singing this song, which we've heard other versions of over the years, but it was what I believe Terry Venables called a key tapper.
A key tapper? Yeah.
And you remember that's what he said when he heard Three Lions? He said,
because he did actually he tapped his car keys throughout and said it's a real key tapper, isn't it?
Which worries me now I think about it, but that's another story.
Yeah. It's funny though, his flashback is so selective, like... It's all his life is sort of seen through rose-tinted glasses. That's what I was thinking. And then he was wearing some.
Yeah, exactly. I thought they did a good job on the child, Elton John. He's got, especially around the mouth, he looks like Elton John.
Yeah.
I mean, no child wants to be told that, but I think he does.
There is an odd moment in the middle, though, where he's sat at the piano and he genuinely looks like Ian Brown.
Does he?
That's mine, you mate.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what does... I saw an interview with Elton John saying how much he'd love doing the advert and all that. When I said saying how much, he didn't actually put a price on it.
Yeah.
But he said how much, actually, to be fair to Elton John, it said he gave a part of his fee to charity.
He did, yes.
But I mean, that could be £1 in the poor box. A part, I think... A part is not a
Welcome
percentage.
Welcome to Dickens, London, everyone.
We want a more accurate
£1
fraction.
in the poor box.
Yeah. What percentage was it? A part. Oh, thank you, Sir Elton. Put that in the ledger, will you? Cratchit. 1 part.
Sorry, Elton.
I'm doing the quill. The quill. Can you hear that? Yeah. Right, Cratchit, have an hour off, and that'll be your annual holiday.
Keeping it Christmassy.
Keep it Christmassy.
The best of Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
What about when it went wrong last night with the equipment? Was there like a fire? What happened? There was 1 minute there were fireworks.
Well, there was fireworks.
This is Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran, who had a sort of a light show thing backdrop going on.
Yeah.
There was a point where I remember
I didn't like the screen.
There was like, I remember thinking it's very clever, this back thing, like it had never happened before.
Yeah.
Like someone going to the first talking picture, the jazz singer with Al Jolson.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, so he's singing, and there was fireworks on the back and there was a cracking, so I thought it was a sound effect for that, but then all his sound went completely.
Really quite dramatic.
We were right next to the sound desk.
Yeah.
And I was a bit disappointed that they weren't getting, because I felt like saying, come on, mate. It's one bloke and a guitar, it's not Vangelis. But nobody was...
Jean.
We were all close. Why weren't they getting abuse, those blokes? For their incompetence?
I love it when you complain about people not getting abuse.
So anyway, Ed, I'm going to call him Ed.
Call him Ed.
He then sang...
well, he told everyone to shut up.
Yeah, well, he said, shut up. He said, this won't work if you don't shut up. Mm-hmm. And then what I was hoping, he'd say just absolute silence, and then he would have said, you're fired, mate, to the bloke on the back desk. But what he did was he played his guitar and he sang, and it was lovely.
Yeah,
I loved that bit.
Was my favourite.
Me too.
I would have been happy with that volume all night.
Yes.
And silence from the audience.
And the audience shut up for 5 minutes.
Although I tell you what, singing it quietly like that and us standing next to the sound desk did mean that I could hear it really loudly when the mic on the sound desk went, go to engine B.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was
Thinking, where they flying
ironically, the one person who wasn't quiet was the bloke whose fault it was.
that we think is fault. But
No, there's no question about that.
Yeah.
But no, he's talented. I was very surprised that the audience don't go, Sheeran,
yeah,
Sheeran, like the old Alan
you made
Shearer.
up for it by doing it yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought it would catch on.
It didn't.
I
I,
don't know
saw
if-
you trying to get it to catch on. It didn't.
I don't know if his crowd has a huge overlap with the football crowd. It just didn't strike me
No,
as being...
maybe not. No, there was a lot of Japanese people at the back.
and they
I
like
thought that.
football,
I
yeah.
presume they were over for the England game.
They're doubling up on their...
Oh yeah, I should think
points
so.
out.
Sheeran and Harry Kane.
A lot of
What a weekend.
a lot of people do this now, don't they? They FaceTime it and then they to all the phones. They're holding up the phones, which is nice because then they're obscuring their own view of the actual gig and watching it through their phone. But they were FaceTiming, and I was fascinated though with all the family members I could see. That's all I
Right.
could see. People's children,
See your family
grannies,
members, yeah.
just on these screens.
Is that what they were I thought they were just videoing it.
See, I was the grumpy man at the back. Not grumpy, but I was thinking...
Not
I
grumpy,
can't
not
think
you.
Of, no, not me. Not me, Gov. I can't think of an artist that I would thank my friend for phoning me from the concert of. If anybody... I mean, for a start, I very rarely answer my phone, but if
Wow.
they did, if one of my friends phoned me
Howard
and said,
Hughes.
"Oh, I'm at such and such a concert. I thought you'd like to watch it through my phone." I think that would be friendship over, wouldn't it?
If I had one criticism, I'd say there was a lot of songs about love.
Oh yeah.
Now, this is what happens when you surround yourself with yes men. What
Yeah.
he needs is someone who's going to up to him, say, Ed, word to the wise,
Word to the wise.
you're milking the love thing. I don't know if you're aware of it, but most of your songs are about love. Talk about something else.
Didn't you once suggest architecture
You
as
what?
a song topic?
You heard?
Well,
Sorry?
actually, you'd be
You
a
once
lot.
suggested architecture as a potential song
Yeah,
topic.
why not? Why
You'd
not?
be a lovely
enough, is there?
friend because you could do. You could. I like to think that you could fulfil that role for him,
Yes.
the truth teller.
I'll say, you don't have to get rid of the love. Have like, 2 or 3 songs about love, and then have some songs about, getting, getting some shoes re-heeled. Something like that, and interesting bloke who you met there, and it made you think about your life compared to his life. But romantic love, I mean,
You just frowned at me as if I've been writing loads of romantic love
well,
songs.
all he's doing is he's alienating the people in long-term relationships.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you what I did. This is an error, I think, on the eating out front. Is that I had a chop, like one of these big. I can't remember what county. They're often the big ones have got a county.
Oh
affixed.
yes, yeah.
So it was like
Lancashire
a Derbyshire chop.
Yeah.
Not I'm thinking of Derbyshire neck, which was another name for a goiter,
Oh, was
a
it?
massive neck tumour.
That's nice.
Yeah, anyway, breakfast radio here at Absolute. And I had this chop, it's fantastic. It was just like one of the great chops. It was a big chop as well.
One of the greats.
Yeah, one of the greats.
The chop described like
Chop
one of the greats.
Chop of the week. It was a really brilliant chop, and I loved it.
Good.
It's great. It had the handle. The fat was done to a crispiness. So it was great.
Perfect.
Yeah, lovely.
And it was a big mama of a chop.
The chop, yeah.
Did you have anything with? I just want to envisage a thought. So you had the chop. Anything else on the plate?
Oh yeah, I had
Bread
a few.
and butter?
I had some.
What
I had
else?
some green vegetables.
Good
and
lad.
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
That helps.
They know me. I
They don't warrant any specifics.
They were
They
fine.
were just
They
vegetables.
were fine.
Okay.
Apparently,
the company
the
of a-
greens help the protein go to where it should. So
Is
you
that
need
right?
to eat your greens.
No, I eat my greens, but the greens you don't get excited
They weren't
about.
as,
No, they're not as
the chop
fun.
was the Cheryl, and
You know
the
how-
rest of were like the girls allowed the vegetables.
yeah.
The rest of them,
exactly.
Yeah?
Like
Barnsley chop, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Barnsley. No.
Oh.
I might have remembered that.
Someone's saying top of the chops.
Look,
Barnsley.
I've had a Barnsley chop, but yeah, like the prettier girls at school would hang around with
Yeah,
a
yeah,
plane and
exactly.
mate, so
Yeah.
they looked even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the chop looked great, and then I went back to the.
Strange love rival for Cat, the chop.
So a couple of nights later, I went back to the same restaurant, And I made that classic mistake. I tried to relive
Oh,
No.
the chop. It's like, anything in life.
Never go back.
Like when you can have a party with a brilliant party, invite the same people the following week, and it just doesn't happen.
yeah.
Diminishing returns, my friend.
Yeah, and it was fine. It was fine, but and in a way, it retrospectively diminished the original chop experience.
Well, that's a shame.
You killed off experience
Oh,
number
why
one.
didn't I just leave it there at chop one?
Yeah.
I've asked myself that 100 times since.
You've been back 100 times.
No, just lying in bed thinking about
Loves
it.
chops.
Thinking about it. Trying to remember what the first chop felt like before it was...
Oh, right, yeah.
Imagine going to bed thinking of that.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I don't need to. I often go to bed thinking of meat food that I've eaten.
What
in the
about when
past.
Gary Barlow used to wake up when he wasn't allowed carbs or chocolates, when he had to lose weight for take that, and he woke up and he was licking the pillow because he dreamt it was a Twix.
That's a bit like the old, I dreamt I was eating a giant marshmallow last night. When I woke up, the pillow had gone.
I love that joke.
Oh,
This wasn't a
man.
joke. This was this man's life.
Oh, and Gary Barlow's pillow would be covered in gel. Yuck.
Absolute Radio.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Here's a question. I haven't yet watched any of I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here
I'm enjoying
get
the
out. I'm
yet.
yet. Well, the thing is, I'm about to start because I'm led to believe from a perusal of the tabloids that Noel Edmonds is going to join it. And
So he's not on it yet.
He is in it.
he's in it now.
Oh, he's in it, my friend.
Oh, I thought he was only about to join.
No, he arrived a couple of days ago.
Parachute?
Did he really?
Well, Noel is a bloke who has barely changed since about 19. I mean, I can't
Yeah.
think of a celebrity off the top of my head who looks. He provides continuity in an ever-changing world.
Yeah.
Noel Edmonds. He has barely changed at all. And I don't know if he's got a very, very ugly portrait in his attic. But I always think with those blokes that it is fear of not being recognised.
Right.
So that's why they keep exactly the same look. If he got rid of his beard, like...
Yeah.
Did you ever tell time I was in David Baddiel wrote a short film about an incident, partly about an incident that had happened with me and him. So he said, well, you come and play yourself, but you need to play yourself in 1996 or whatever it was. So I put on some clothes from that era. And I combed my hair pretty much like it was then. And I lived quite near then to London studio, so I walked along the river to the studios on the way in. And I've never had so many people recognise me and ask me. Because that's how I'm still
Right.
that bloke from fantasy football to most people.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
So if I'd have kept that exact look, I could still be.
You could have lots more people taking selfies.
So
when you were-
that's what it is. Like,
You could
that's
have
why.
loads more chats about football than you currently do.
That's why Willie Thorne, the snooker player, has
Yeah.
kept the moustache and dyes it black. So people think, oh look, there's Willie Thorne.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about Noel is he nearly
What
70?
is the good thing
and
about Noel?
I'll tell you exactly, Alan Cochrane.
Shouldn't tell him.
His hair is still lovely and blonde. Even though he's 70, it's beautiful blonde
Yeah,
colour,
still-
Frank.
Sun in, I think.
You think?
If you put sun in before you have like a month in Australia, it's going to really going to come
He
up.
still talks
Yeah.
about sunny.
It's going to come
Take
up
off the
tree.
mark.
No, he's one of those blokes, Noel, who. There are three ways to do well in telly. You can be funny, interesting.
Let's write this down.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I've got my notepad.
Here's the three categories you can
Yeah,
be
go on.
to do well. Funny,
No, I haven't got that.
Okay.
number one, funny. Number
Right.
two, interesting. Number three, lucky.
Right.
Okay. Lucky you leader.
Another word for lucky is a broadcaster. If you're ever described,
Yeah, the
if you're ever
broadcaster.
described as a broadcaster,
That's
means,
how I describe myself, I think. I'm happy to go with the lucky. I think lucky's good.
No, but you're a quotable person. Quotability is the test.
Oh, okay.
How many
Thanks.
Noel Edmonds one-liners can you come up with?
None. But I do
Wow.
have some challenges on things Noel has said. So
But Frank, he's getting
We'll discuss.
a cool 600k.
No,
as I believe
respect.
the tabloids. That's a
yes.
lot of Cuban heel
Yeah.
boots.
that is.
But you know my view, get a robot.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Number 2 on your list for success in television is to be interesting.
Well, that's
Yeah.
possible. You can do it with
it's
that.
an ingredient. I think Noel Edmonds is interesting, but he's
Yeah. Off
really
stage, though, really.
Yeah, I think he's in danger of not being as interesting as he really is in some of these
No,
interviews that he's done.
I wish he was weirder on telly like he is off. That would be more. That would.
He said that he's prepared to retire from television if he wins, and he said that the British public might have had enough, and he said something like that. He's like Marmite, and I thought, oh, that's a bit uninteresting, isn't it, comparing yourself to Marmite, because
Does
people
it mean
either
from
love
a
it or hate
distance
it.
he
I'll
looks
tell you
like
what-
excrement?
And he's got a chromium yellow top. He said, I'll tell you exactly what he said, Hal. I've had a fantastic relationship with the British public. I may be Marmite.
So have I. One at a time, man.
I may be Marmite, but there's a hell of a lot of people that seem to like Noel's version of Marmite.
Alan likes it when Noel talks about himself in the third person.
I was
Yeah,
just going
I
to say,
don't-
great third person work there.
I don't know if there's a hell of a lot, but I always.
Very 70s TV presenter, hell of a lot as well.
I don't. People. I think with Noel that I don't think people mind him being on telly. I don't think they feel strongly about it like that.
I don't know if
Well, the
they're-
next
I don't
thing he
mind
said-
him being on. I mean, he's more Nesquik than Marmite.
But when he
You know,
says...
he was a bit massive in the 70s, but I don't mind the fact you can still get it.
So straight after the cliche of comparing himself to Marmite in a love or hate way, he then goes, 50 years is long enough. The British public might have had enough. I mean, we've got enough problems with Brexit. And I was like, oh, God, that's another... He's 2 in a row.
Yeah, but there's a
I
lot
will
of...
forgive him if he's just really wants to talk about Brexit. If he spends the whole time in the jungle just discussing Brexit.
I don't think he'll win it then.
How was eating the locusts? Never mind that. I really want to know what Claude Juncker has said to Theresa May.
But he does. It's interesting because when he was saying that thing about if I win the crown, I'll quit TV for good. I mean, are you on TV? I mean, you're not on. You can't. It's like Pete Best saying, "I'm leaving the Beatles," you know.
Or Andrew Cole retiring from
Yeah.
international football.
That
Rio
decision
Ferdinand
is somewhat
hanging
out
up
of
his
your
boxing
hands.
gloves.
But also, it won't pass. If he gets a phone, if he wins it and gets a phone call the following week saying we want you to host this game show, you think he's going to say no because he's done a deal
I made a
with the
promise.
British public? No deal. That's what that'll be.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, yeah.
But if someone
Lovely.
says I'm like Marmite, they suggest that some people really love them, and I don't know if that's. Who have you heard anyone say? God, I tell you who I love. That
Noel Edmonds.
Well, it's funny you should say that.
This is going to be the Jonathan Ross story.
No, this is. He was one of my first crushes when I was a child.
he really?
I was quite obsessed by him. And he was on a show called Saturday Swap Shop, which you'll be familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
You will be. And I just used to look at the telly and I thought, if I just had a man like that.
It was
Everything would be okay.
It was a swingers show, late night Channel 4.
I remember it.
Jonathan Ross told me, and you must know this story, that he once sat next to Princess Diana. And she said, I'm very envious of you because you meet so many famous people. And he said, well, you know, you meet more famous. She said, oh, yeah, but I meet sort of statesmen and stuff like that. But I'd like to meet more, you know, celebrities. He said, well, who would you most like to meet? And she said, Noel Edmonds. And he said, I'm sure if someone could... It was like when Lucy Pinder said to me that her ambition was to hold a chimpanzee. I said to her, surely your agent can work can sort that out. It's a very similar ambition in many ways.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Someone said it sounds like Frank has had a run-in with Noel in the dim and distant past. Hashtag a problem shared. Care to share why? A grudge exists.
No, I don't.
grudge?
I have no. I don't have a problem with Noel. I'm sure.
The idea of you having a row with Noel.
I think it could happen.
Oh, it could.
But no, I think he wrote to me once, actually.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love letter.
I asked him to be on the chat show and he wrote quite a long letter.
Saying he wasn't up for it?
I'm talking
Well, no,
about
it's-
television, I think. Just talking about,
Oh, really?
in a sort of, we know, don't we?
Oh, that's
Kind of way.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. But,
I tell you what, though, he did a bad thing.
what, Noella?
Yeah, he did a thing which I cannot excuse.
I'd like his calendar, Noella.
I would as well, that'd be good. Because I wonder what he'd wear for December. Big jumper?
Probably.
Anyway.
It started the ironic Christmas jumper, of course. Anyway, as
Was
you
it
were...
ironic?
Well, you're right, it wasn't when he first...
Don't you think?
I mean,
Okay, hashtag a problem shared. What happened?
yeah, crinkly bottom, that's all I have to say on the comedy front.
Okay.
He said, I could barely bring myself to repeat this, but he said, so in the shower, do people wear their swimming costumes or do they go in naked? He said, because I don't think the British public are ready for Mr. Happy and the Twins.
He did say that.
And no, for a
know.
start off, if I had any sort of share in the Mr. Men franchise, my legal people would have been in like a shot.
Good point.
What about Jedward? They'd have something to say as well.
But no, please, Mr. Happy and the Twins. I think Noel is like, the mandrill ape.
Yes.
Whose private parts look exactly like their faces. So they can be attractive from both sides. That's what I suspect. Bit of sodding.
I think Noel is the type of man, I think he calls his life partner my lady.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I think
I
he
don't
does.
mind that, but Mr. Happy and the Twins. What did Hitler call his? A single parent? Hitler called this the exclamation mark. Please stop.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I don't want to boast.
You do?
Yeah, I do actually, you're right. Who am I trying to Brian kid? My tree is something of a work of art this year.
Oh, yeah.
Really proud of it.
In what way?
Well, I've gone for a really strong theme. I've gone for blush baubles and a glittery gold bow at the top. I'm sorry.
Bow at the top.
I know. I could see your face curling up
Yeah.
with horror. What's your tree theme, please?
It's a real tree. Is yours
Yeah.
real?
No.
Well, that's our theme, really. It's a real tree with the usual decorations that we put up every year on it.
Oh.
It looks fantastic. I mean, Cal
Oh,
does a great
great.
job.
Lovely.
A great job on the tree. What about you, Al? Austerity? Austerity. They should sell Austerity, which are very...
So good at titles for stuff sometimes.
wow.
Austerity is a really good business
It's
idea.
slightly tragic.
Yeah, but
We bought the Austerity this year since Malcolm lost his job. I mean, you don't want to hear that.
oh, now I'm worried about Malcolm. I can barely think
not
about
at
my own tree.
Christmas.
What do you have? What's yours like?
We've got a tree covered in Michael Bublé's, like Bublé,
I'd love
yeah.
that
because
tree.
it almost sounds like bauble.
Yeah.
Bublé.
No, I saw where
No,
you're
we
coming
haven't,
from.
but he's got a lovely voice.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You don't have to defend. Didn't he once contact Magic or something here?
Yes,
Because we were
he
talking
did.
about him.
Someone criticised
He
him.
did, and he gets in touch. I think he might, because he was very nice to you when you did. I think you did
it's
Graham
lovely
Norton.
on Graham Norton. Me and him were like best buddies.
Great.
Oh, yeah. Sounded a little bit jelly bags there, Al.
I
Yeah,
like
great. No, he did. He got in touch with the radio station. There's someone who was rude about him, but it's all right. If you're listening, we love you. We're
Well,
big-
No, I respect him for that, of course.
He's got a
Of course
fine
you did.
singing voice.
Brilliant.
There you go. Our tree's pretty standard, trad.
Okay.
I don't think there's
None of
anything that
us.
eccentric on it.
None of us have the golden boot at
Now,
the
the
top.
best tree of the year so far, I don't know what's
Yeah.
going to top this. Harry Kane
Yeah.
of Tottenham and England has got a
Yeah.
tree, and his golden boot that he won for scoring the most goals in the World Cup is on top of the tree. That's
is
instead of the
impressive.
angel thing.
We should say it's not actually the real
Oh, is it
JP
not?
McCoy.
Oh, isn't it?
No.
Oh, because I was thinking it was a feat of engineering, because that would weigh a
That'd be
bit.
heavy. Is that a
and it's
pun?
on the top of feat of
Lovely.
engineering.
A foot of engineering.
Very good.
I believe it's
Wish
a
I'd done that on purpose.
commemorative boot that he was given by a sponsor.
I like the idea of putting a big award on the tree. It's a brilliant thing.
I do.
And I thought, we've got that spray snow on our tree, and what I've done is I've left a section of it unsprayed with snow, and I've put my award for interviewing Al Gore there
Oh, nice.
as an echo of climate change and global warming, and it works beautifully. I thought maybe the Baird Medal would make a nice bauble.
Lovely.
I'm going to get all the awards.
I like the climate change medal in the tree that's been ripped out.
Yeah, well,
Lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was ripped.
They all are,
I think
dear.
it was eased.
Ripped
Oh.
dog.
It was
Same
eased
difference,
out to, and we take it back to the dump, so it's probably
That's good.
organically thinged. or
Nice for
something.
Stig as
Can't
well.
just plant it. People don't do that, do they?
People
Exactly.
do sometimes, I think.
Do
but
they?
I couldn't be bothered. Come on, it's a Christmas.
You still in
tree.
touch with Al Gore?
No, he occasionally flies over just for a cup of tea, flies back again.
The best of Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.